Hello everyone, welcome to our Sunday edition of Quilts in Italy. This is episode 2 of our Lacey Log Cabin series. The first one was yesterday. And I decided today I'm going to get all my pieces cut. We cut all the pieces yesterday for 4 groups of 16 total blocks, and there's 64 in this quilt top. So this is what we are making. This Quilts in Italy series is based on the Kaffe Fassett book, Quilts in Italy. There's a link below in the description if you'd like to order this book. But all the quilts I'm doing live on camera right now in the Quilts in Italy series are out of this book. The patterns are inside the book, everybody. So what we're making right now, this is number 3 that we've done so far. Lacey Log Cabin. Isn't that pretty? And there's a total of 64 quilt blocks in this quilt. And that is on page 62 where it begins. Hi, Mia. And what we're doing on this page right here, this shows the cutting. This is the cutting instructions for all the logs. And then on the next page, page 65, we are making 16 different block layouts with our fabric. That we're making 4 blocks of each one of these 16. So yesterday, we did blocks 1 through 4, that top row. And next we are cutting out the pieces for 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then that'll be half of them. And we're going to get all of these, we're going to do our best to get all of these cut today. So this is going to be pretty much a cutting day instead of a sewing day. And then we can do some serious chain piecing throughout the week. Yes, there's going to be more of these through the week. And I will get those scheduled later today. Okay, so we're going to get started with our cutting. Boy, howdy, and we're going to have some fun today. Okay, so you can hear my little dog's squeaky toy in the background there. Little Puffin, he likes to play with his little rat baby. But we're going to get started. Hi, Sandy. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Hi, Mark. So here we go. We're going to get started. I'm going to swap my camera over to my little cutting station. Let's see that button right there. And we're going to get started. So there's the book. I got new casters on my chair and they lock really easily, hence that screechy noise. Sorry about that. But here we go. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, puppy. Got your baby for you. There. And he wanted to play fetch. But no more, puppy. No more. Okay. So I've already got 5 cut out, and it's right here. This is a layout for block 5. There's enough pieces here for 4 blocks, just alike. So that one is done. So I'm going to stack these up in the order to which they will be sewn. Okay, I'm going to wonder clip all that together. I've got some really large wonder clips here that are perfect for this. If you have a lot of thickness there, maybe it'll fit. Let's see here. Maybe I spoke too soon. There we go. Okay. Now that'll just hold them all nice and neatly together. Okay, so there's 5. Now we're actually going to cut 6. Yesterday I got all of my strips cut. So what you want to make it go quicker, all the fabric you purchased for this kit for the blocks, cut them all in the 1 1/4 inch sizes that it recommends in the book. I altered this a little bit for myself. Instead of doing 1 1/4 inch strips, I cut mine at 1.5, so it also changed the size and the fabric requirements. But sticking to the book, if you just follow these instructions here on page 63, there's all the fabric you'll need. And then it actually lists here in this section how many strips of each fabric you'll need to cut. Okay, so moving right along, we are now going to cut the strips for number 6, block number 6. Set that to the side. I've already got my fabrics picked out for this, so there's my chimney, my centers. And I need 2 strips for the first round. I'm going to put gray on this one. Then I need 3 for round 2, so there's 3 of those. And then for round 3, I need 4 strips. 4. And for round 4, I also need 4. So there's the colors for this set of 4 blocks that we're going to cut now. Okay. And let me get my mouse so I can keep an eye on the chat window. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, thank you, Sandy. He loves his squeaky toy. It's his only toy he has not destroyed the squeaker in. Good morning, Anne. No, I have not shown the blocks from yesterday, but I'll do that right now before we get started cutting. Let me grab them. So here's the 16 blocks I pieced yesterday. This is block number 1. Okay, there's 4 of each one of these. So there's block number 1 right there. Then block number 2 right there. Now I did not use Kaffe fabric. I have a lot of fabric, and I didn't have any of the fabric for this quilt as pictured in the book, so I kind of did my own thing, everybody. Block number 3, there's 4 of those that we pieced yesterday. And then block number 4. And we pieced 4 blocks. Each one of these has 4 exactly alike. And there's block number 4 right there. Okay. And let's get rid of the spam. And we'll just report that. That's done. Okay. So let's get started, everybody. We're going to try our best to get all of our pieces cut today. Then we'll probably do another episode, maybe on Tuesday and on Thursday, because I would really like to get this particular quilt top completed by the end of next weekend. So we'll see if that happens, right? So I need 4 pieces. I'm gonna cut 4 pieces. I'm not using the ruler to measure with. I'm using the grid marks on the mat. But all I'm doing here, I am just using it to cut a straight line. There we go. Then, I think actually that's a large ruler. I need something. I'm gonna use the one I used yesterday. It worked out fairly well. Okay. So I cut all my strips 1.5 inches this way. Okay, they're all 1.5 inches in width. Move that over here some. There we go. So my first round for my first strips, I need 4 of, right there, 3.5. The next would be 4.5. Now this is for mine. If you're following the book, cut according to the directions in the book. Okay, 4.5 would be here. I need 8 of these, this length. I changed mine to 1.5 inches simply because it was just easier for me to see the marks to cut it at that than the 1.25 inches. I would have liked to have done the 1.25 inches. So 5 right there. Now I do have a little bit of leftovers, but I know I'll be making more of these in the future. So this will be part of my scraps. See right there, I have a little piece there left over. Okay, there's round 1 for block number 6. Let me just set this to the side over here. Okay. Okay, right there. Straighten that up some. There we go. There we go. Okay, right there. Now, this is next. So I had 2 strips of fabric across the width of the fabric for that first one. Okay, just doing some house cleaning here. Hold on just a moment, everybody. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I had 2 strips of width of the fabric for round 1. Okay, now round number 2 that goes all the way around that chimney center, we need 3 strips. 1, 2, 3, and I cut everything 4 layers thick. For this quilt, 4 is the magic number to do the math. It just makes everything work out so much more evenly if you will cut it in stacks of 4, 4. Square off the end. And there's our 4. Now we need 8 of the next size, which would be that number. Yes. And what's that? So on round 2, my first cut was 5.5 inches, and this is 6.5. I needed 8 of those. And if you're following the book, your size, length of your cuts will be different from what I'm doing, so be forewarned about that. I am not following the exact cutting instructions in the book. I kind of did my own thing. Okay. And then 4 of these. Right there. And there's round 2 completely cut out for block number 5. There we go. Okay. Now in round 3 and round 4, there's 4 strips of fabric for each one of those rounds. So that gives us 2 stacks. It would be 4 layers in height. And we're just going to get these all cut And we can move forward. Okay. And just squaring off the edges right there. And let's see. I'll make sure I don't miscut any of this. And right there. I need another cut of 4 for that one. My little strips I'm putting to the side for my trimming, I will reuse those in other areas, other blocks for this quilt. Just so you know, nothing goes to waste. And that is that number. That gives me 8 of those. Now I need 4 of this last number here. And that's round 3 complete. Okay, one more round to cut, and all the pieces for block number 6 will be cut. And 2 strips per stack gives us 4 layers because these are folded in half right off the bolt of fabric. Stack up nice and neat. There we go. That's good. Now then, I'm going to cut my shortest and longest because they just get 4 layers each. Squared it off. My shortest strips for round number 4. And then my longest strips for round number 4 would be next. It just makes it come out perfectly even that way. And I don't waste hardly any fabric on this round here. It's pretty exact. Okay, so that's the first set of pieces here, 4 of those, shortest, and then 4 of the longest, and then these next 2 strips will cut 8 pieces for the middle size. There we go. Yes. Right there. And right there. And that gives us 8 of those. So that's all the pieces for block number 6. We get those all stacked nice and neat. That way the very top layer is round 1, then round 2, round 3, round 4, and that way when I'm at the machine I just have to peel off 1 layer of lengthage at a time. almost too thick for these, but I'll make it work. There we go. Okay. And just so I don't get them, if they get out of order, I'm going to write on a little post-it note the block number, because that will come in handy later. So I have block 5 and block 6 completely cut. I'll just stick that right on top of that fabric. There we go. What I did, so that I don't get them mixed up, I just put a little post-it note with the block number written on the top of it. Okay. There we go. Next is block number 7. This is the fabric I picked out for it. Let's see here. It's going to be number 1. This is 2. This I think is round 3. And then round 4 right here. Yes. Okay. So, round number 1. And to make it easy for myself, I have all my numbers, so I don't have to constantly be handling my book. I just made notes on my little short notepad right here for my cutting links, and that makes it just super easy that way. And I'm not constantly handling the book and getting the pages creased or anything like that. Just taking care of the book. Okay. Let me get me a sip of my coffee here. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Vanessa. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually. I guess it depends what part of the country you're in. But for those of us here in Central Time Zone, it's actually good afternoon right now. Okay. So, I have to cut my short length first. Where's my little ruler at? Where did I stick that? There it is. And we're just going to square off the ends here. 4 layers of fabric, everybody. Okay. Now I changed my direction, my cutting. I did my own cutting instructions because I changed the size of the logs from the book. Okay, that's the first one. Then that. Okay. So, if you're doing it just like in the book, you need to get your measurements from the book instead of from me. Otherwise, it won't come out right. You probably wouldn't have enough fabric. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 8 of these. Right there. And then I need 4. Just move this down since I wiggled it. There we go. And there's round 1 completely cut. Okay, round 1 is completely cut. Next would be round 2. Here's round 2, right here is this one. So I'm going to put down 2 strips. For round 1, there was 2 strips of fabric. Round 2, there are 3 strips. I will be doing some more of these throughout the week. I will get the times listed, but they're going to be in the evening. I'll probably do one on Tuesday and again on Thursday is what I'm kind of planning right now, at least in my head. Let's see how that works out. But anyway, I'll do at least two more throughout the week this week and again next weekend. And I'm hoping to be able to have this quilt top completed by the end of next week. We shall see. I tell you, after all that piecing all those blocks yesterday, I was a little bit, my shoulders were a little sore. It's been a while since I sat and sewed that long. Okay, here's my first set of 4. Now I need 2 sets of 2 cuts for a total of 8. Right there. There's 4. And that'll be another 4. Total of 8. And I will fold this 3rd strip in half. That way I get 4 layers. I'll make 1 cut for my 4th piece of round 2 on this block. We are now doing block number 7. For round 2 on block number 7, right there. Just go ahead and stack them as I go this time. Round 1, round 2. Let's just go ahead and write down on my post-it note, this is number 7. Okay. This will be round 3. Yes, by making 16 different blocks, and they're only different, because I say different because the fabric, there's 16 different fabric combinations. If you were just making 2 different blocks, the cutting process would go muy faster, very fast. But that's okay, this is a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Sitting in my koala chair cutting fabric. Let's see here. This is round 3. Okay. Just double checking my number before I cut. Okay, there's the 4 I need for that. Then I need 8 of that middle number. Right there. There's 4. For a different set of blocks. I'll stack my remaining 2 strips. I woke up and it was raining. I got up around 6 a.m. or so. And it was pouring down rain. There were big puddles in the street outside the house. Okay, middle number. This will give me a total of 8 strips of this size. I just need 4 for that last number for round 3. There. And round 3 is all cut for block number 7. There. That will go there. my strips organized as much as possible, because I tell you, if you have these loose and they get knocked over or off the table, it would be a nightmare having to get everything back in order. Total nightmare scenario. We just don't even want to go there. I don't even want to think about it. Okay. So, I'm going to cut my 2 stacks of 4 out of this set of strips. So this round 4, there's 4 strips, just like with round 3. Right here, there were 4 strips. Round 2 had 3 strips, and round number 1 had 2 strips of fabric. Okay, so this is my last round. Right there. And right here. So there's my 4 for my shortest log on round 4, and 4 for my longest log in round number 4. And then we'll cut 8 strips for this middle size. Getting ready to order the fabric for the next quilt in the series. I'm actually going to buy, there's only 2 fabrics in it, so I'm going to order a bolt of fabric, and if anybody would like the fabric I'm going to pick out, I will have extra, so just let me know it. You'll be able to order that. I'll show that when it comes in, so you can see that and decide if you want to do that or not. Let's see here. I need 2 of those, 2 cuts of that. It will not be the Kaffe fabric, so if you want Kaffe, you will have to procure that somewhere else. The reason I can't order the Kaffe, I have to place a super large fabric order to be able to order that. I just can't do that at this time. Okay, so there's number 7. That one is complete. I'm going to try my best to get that clip around that too. I'm going to pinch it really tight. There we go. And then there's number 7. Right there. Okay. Next would be number 8. There's my 4 center pieces. And I already have these strips organized over here for that. And so here is, this will be round 1. Let's go ahead and lay those as if, because they're going to get cut first. But then this will be round number 2 for this group of blocks, round 3, and round 4. Okay. So there are, here we go, 2 strips, 3 strips, 4 strips, and 4 strips. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Okay. And these are cut 1.5 inches wide. The same as in the book is this cut. This is a 3.5 inch square, but if you order the Kaffe fabric, you will have to fussy cut these, which is really pretty. Okay, so let's get started cutting this group, block number 8 out. And of course there's enough, I'm cutting enough pieces to make 4 blocks of each numbered block exactly alike. So block 8 will have enough pieces to make 4 blocks exactly alike. Get me a drink of my coffee. And we're going to keep on cutting. I decided today is a cutting day, and I'm just going to try to get most of my pieces cut. We'll see where that goes. Okay, so let's get started. Square it off. And this is 3.5, because this first group is the same width as our chimney square. Okay. There's that. Now I need 2 cuts for what would be, that would go on there, and then from here to here, then there to there, 2 pieces, same size. That's why you need 8. And my version of it, it is 4.5 inches there. And I need to do one more cut at 4.5. Just make it right there. Okay, there's 8 of those. Now, this one would be 5.5. Something looks off. No, it's not. 5.5. If you're cutting the pieces exactly like in the book, these numbers are not for you. Okay. Okay. And if you really want to do it my way, here are the actual numbers. I'm just going to hold this up for a moment so you can see my numbers. Then if you re-watch this, you can actually pause this video and just write all these numbers down. There we go. Right there. So 4 at 3.5, 8 at 4.5 inches, 4 at 5.5, then round 2, 4 at 5.5, 8 at 6.5, 4 at 7.5, round 3, 4 at 7.5, 8 at 8.5, 4 at 9.5, and then for the last round, round number 4, 4 at 9.5, 8 at 10.5, and 4 at 11.5. That's if you're using 1.5 inch strips with an accurate 1/4 inch seam. These work out perfectly. What this means on that round 4, you're going to cut the 9.5 and the 11.5 out of the same set of strips. The 10.5, you can get 2 cuts and just have a hair left over. So you want to cut the 9.5 and the 11.5 out of the same 2 strips, and then the 10.5s come out of the next 2 strips. That way you can get it nice and equal that way. No wastage. Okay. All that being said, let's get these stacked right there. And now we're going to do round number 2. Oh, awesome, Vanessa. Mia, the chimney is the same size as in the book. It's a 3.5 inch square of fabric. That's what it is in the Kaffe book. I left that the same. All I did, I changed the size of the logs. And the only reason I did that, this will make a larger quilt, everybody. In the book, it'll make a 72 by 72 inch quilt. Mine, with using my measurements, it will make an 88 by 88 inch quilt. Hence, it'll take a little more fabric. Okay? So just be forewarned about that. I cut 20 fabrics, a ½ yard each. I should have some left over. We'll see how that works out. Okay, so first cut 4 at 5.5. Right there. Now I need 8 at 6.5. And 4 more at 6.5. That's 12. 18 and a half. Now I only have to cut 4 of my last length out of the single strip, which I'll fold over in half. That way I get 4 layers thick. Okay. And this will be 9.5 inches, 4 pieces at 9. Ooh, wrong. I just miscut, everybody. Hold on. I just miscut. Okay. Yes. 5.5, that's correct. I'll still have enough fabric. These should have been 6.5, did I? Yes. Yes, that is correct. Ooh, but I was going to cut this last one too long. It should be 7.5. I was getting ready to like skip around. 7.5, 4 at 7.5. Right there. There we go. Okay, round 2 is cut. Well, I thought I messed up there for a minute. Okay. But I didn't, so it's all good. Okay. And since this is a fold line right here, look, when I open this up, I can use this where I repeat this fabric in a different block, but in a different location. If it's closer to the center, I'll be able to cut these and use these. So this is not wastage. This I'll just reuse a little later in the cutting. Okay. So next is round number 3. And you need 4 strips for round number 3. Here we go. And we're going to square off the end. And I need 4 at 7.5. And then I need 8 at 8.5. Another 2 strips. Excuse me. And we're going to cut 8.5. These are 4 layers deep. 1 cut at 8.5. That'll give me my 8 total for round 3. And then 9.5, 4 at 9.5. 4 at 9.5. And there's all my logs for round number 3 now. Okay. Next are these for round number 4. And there's 4 strips of this. And everybody, I used a rotary cutter and a ruler to cut all of my strips. There is an AccuQuilt die that'll cut 1.5 inch strips if you want to do it that way. But I was trying to conserve fabric. Okay, there's 4 layers. Now we're going to cut 4 of the 9.5. That's our shortest. And then our longest strips on round number 4 are 11.5. And I'm going to cut 4 of those out of this set. Trim. 9.5. And then 11.5. Okay, there's my shortest and longest strip for that round. And get my other 2 strips. And we'll square them off. And then I need 2 cuts of 10.5 inches for a total of 8 strips. So I need 8 strips at 10.5. And there we go. There's all of those for round number 4 on block number 8. All right. Let's get those all stacked. We'll get them clipped together. Let's get our number 8 on there. If it's really thick, and give them a good strong pinch. That seemed to really help the situation. There we go. So number 8. All the pieces for group block, 4 blocks of number 8. Okay. So now I have to select strips for blocks number, 9 through 12 are next. Okay, so let's see here. Move some of this out of the way. Get my book down here. I'm going to pick fabric. I've already got my strips cut. So what I do, I cut all my strips. I have these little plastic totes. I think I got those at Costco, but they're really handy to organize stuff in the sewing room because you can see through them and they stack really nice and neatly on top of each other. I'm sure I'm not the only one of you out there that uses these. So 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So, right there, that one needs the dark gray. The dark gray. Let's see here. Get some of these laid out into piles. There we go. Move this down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. This is going to be my outermost for that. Teal in my greens right there. coral and pinks. Then I have this mustard yellow color. And I have a lot of my tans and off-whites. Okay, so number 9. I need 4 of these for number 9. One, 2, 3, 4. I got 2 of those left, so that's just enough to put them for round number 1 somewhere. I'll set those to the side. There's number 4 for this one. I'm just going to set it off to the side. That bright green. I'm going to use this green for that one. If I have enough, I need 4. Let's see if I have 4 of these left. 1. If not, I'll use something different. It's all good. Let's see here. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. 1 more. 1 more, come on. There you are. I did have 4. Okay. There's 4 of those. I'll set these to the side. There's my round 3 for that one. Okay. Then a pink. I need a pink. I think I'm going to do this one right here. I need 3 of these for my pinky pile. 2, 3. And then I need 2, one of my cream colors. Let's see, we'll put this one. No, it's a bigger print. Need 2 of my cream. We'll do this one here. 1 and 2. Out of that. There we go. That one's all set. Okay, that's number 9. And we're going to put my little post-it notes. There we go. Number 9, those are set. That way I know what stack is what. Okay, so next would be number 10. 8. Okay, 10. So, bright blue. Going to use I have 2 of those. Yes, I do. So I'll use this. Use that one for my number 2, number 1 round. Then a yellow. Need 3 of those. Okay. That's going to be this right here, if I have Let's see how many of these I have. I may want to use those somewhere else. There's 3. I would need 4. I think that's all. Nope, I see another one right there. 4 right there. Okay. There's number 4. Then one of my lavenders from my purple group. Let's see here. Okay, it's going to be this right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that one's all set. So 4, 4, 3 on this, 2 on this one, and this is block group number 10. Number 11. I am going to, this will be number, I want 4 of these. Let me see here. 2. 3. 1 more. There's 4. Okay. And there's 4 of that. These kind of organized back together. Give me a drink of my coffee here. Okay. We're on this one here. So that is number 3, round 3. And I'm going to use, what am I going to use for that one? I'm going to use, let me see something here. I'm going to use this right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just 2 of that. So these are going to come for that one. 1. Ooh, do I have a second one of those? I've used a lot of that. That might be my last strip of that. Let's see here. Do I have one more? Do I have any scraps? I have scraps. I'll make that one strip of my scraps I can make work for round number 1 on this group. There we go. Okay. And then a blue. I need 3. It may not be blue. Let's see. I am probably going to substitute one of my lavendery ones for that. Yes, I am. Do one of these. But I need something a little bolder. I don't have a bold fabric in this group. So 4 is here. Let me see here. This is what I want to use, but do I have enough cut? I think I do. I do. I'm going to use that blue right there for my bright. Remember all those little scraps I've been tucking away? Well, here's where I'm going to use some of them up, is in this group here. That should be all the pieces I need for block number 11. My 4 blocks for number 11 right there. what I'm doing over here, you can see right here, I have my stacks, 9, 10, 11. That's what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Okay, so then we're down to number 12. Let me see something here. What I have on the bottom. Perfect. We are going to do, which one of these have I not used yet? Don't think I've used that one yet. Yes, so I need 4 of these. Block number 12 right there. 2. 3. 1 more. Where are you at? No, there's one in here. I'll get one from over here, from this stack. There we go. There's 4 of those. Okay. Try to keep what I'm not using as neatly stacked as possible. It doesn't always work out, as you can obviously see, but it just makes it easier down the road if you can kind of keep up with that. Then you don't have a jumbled up mess of strips. Okay, there we go. So there's number 4 right there. Block 12, round 4. Did that. Okay. Let me think. So round number 1 would be this. 2 strips. Okay. Okay, then I need a pink, one of my pinks. We'll do this one. I need 3 of those. 2. Do I have another one? Yes, I do. And I do have more of this fabric that I have of these fabrics, so if I should have to cut a little bit more, I can. But I'm hoping to not have to do that, because then it'd be easy to remember how much fabric you need for this particular quilt top. Okay. And then that one right there. I'm going to do one of these. And I think I will do this one right here. If I have 4, I need 4 of those. With that or that? No, I'm actually going to do this one. This is a pretty Hoffman fabric right here. This is one I do not have any more of. This is it has a little bit of a silver frost in it. It's really pretty. So I need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. There's the colors for that block. Okay. So this is block number 12 right here. Okay, I got 4 more groups of blocks to pick out strips for, and I can tell by looking at what I have here cut, I will have leftover strips, so it's all wonderful and good. Okay, next would be number 13, and I'm pretty sure I have not used this. Do I really want to use that one though? There. Yes, I am talking to myself, everyone. I'm thinking this out loud in my head. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm going to save that for number 16. I want 4 of those for number 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's for number 16. So I'll hang those on the side of my bucket. I'm going to use this. 4 of these for 13. 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Okay, there's 13 right there. Okay. Then we're going to put this one, 4 of these, if we have them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Then those. Let's see. Let me think here just a secky-wecky. I want, what do I want here? I want, how many of these do I have? There's 2 of those. Well, there we go. There's 4. Round 1 on 13. Then that. We'll do one of these. Let's see here. One, 2. Yeah, I don't have anything bright though. I guess they don't always have to be bright, but I would prefer there to be one louder one. So I'm going to swap this for that other lavender, and that'll give it a little bit of a more of a grab. 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. Happier with that now. I am happier with that. So, 1, 2, excuse me, 3, and 4. And that is number 13. Okay. Okay, next, number 14. We are going to do, how many of these do I have? 1, 2, okay. So I'm going to use these 2. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's see here. Nope. Let's see. Just looking it over. Need those 2 for number 1. 1, 2. There we go. I need 4 for my outside. Yes. Then I need round 2 and 3. round 2 and 3. Going to put let's see here. Too many large prints. That's what that means. No. Okay, let's see here. One of the purples would work. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Now, number 3 needs to be a brighter color, one of the brighters. And what's that going to be? It's going to be meters going, I need 4. One, 2. 3. There we go. That will work. And 4. Okay. So there is number 14. Just 2 more to go. Okay. Here's 14. Now, right there, we are going to use. Let me see here. Not that. That. Okay, we're going to use one of these for number 4. This one here, I think. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Okay, there's 4 of those. Round number 4, block 15. Oh my goodness. Then we are going to do one of these. Which one? We're going to do this one, I think. I need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Need 2 for number 1. 1. Do I have another one? Oh. Do I have any scraps? Yeah. Do I have any more scraps of that one? I think I have enough of that one to do. It'll be close, that's for sure. Okay. I think that's a little too close for comfort, so I'm not going to do that. We can do let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to use this one instead. I think, yes, 2 of those. Ooh, I may not have 2 of those either. Okay, won't use that. Alrighty. I am actually going to use this one because I do have 2 of these, and that will use all of those up. That'll be my bright. Then for out here, need 3 strips. There's 2 of those. I'm just going to do some of these then. Here, 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go. Okay. That will work. There's number 15. Number 15, all set to cut. Number 15. That stack is done. Then all I have left is 16. I saved these 4 for the outer rings, I think. Should be 4 of them. Okay, let's just get them nice and neat here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, there's that one. Then I need 2 for the round 1. Three of those. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I need, set those up there. Doing block 16, everybody. I need, which area do I want to put that one in? Let's see. I'm going to do some purple in it. Right? Right. You know what? Nope, that's good. That's good. We're going to, I need 3, 4. Actually, how many of these do I have? That will determine greatly. How many of those do I have to cut? 1, 2. There's only 2 of those, so that will not work. Okay. These do I have? One, 2, yay, 3, and 4. There's that one. Yeah, those do I have 3. I just need 1 more for the 2 strips for the very center. 2 strips for the very center. I'm actually going to use some of this. that. do this one right here for the center. 1 and 2. Right there. There we go. And that's what it's going to be. Oh, let's see here. Hi, Tracy. Oh, that sounds lovely, Tracy. Cool in 64. It's a semi-overcast rainy day here in Illinois. I got up at 6 and it was raining. It stopped for now. It's all good. Number 16. I now have all of my strips organized to cut for all the rest of my blocks for this quilt top. Okay. Woohoo! Now I'm going to organize while I'm here. In my mind, I'm going to get all my strips nice and neatly layered together so that, well, it'll just make it easier in case I have to do a last minute substitution for a fabric. We'll see. Probably not, but as you can see, I do have leftover fabric. That should be more than enough fabric. Over here, I've got for all 64 blocks, so I did have leftover fabric, and that's okay. It's okay to have leftover fabric. That one, and that one. Okay, just fold those together. Leave them in the bottom. Okay, and my pinkies. And what I did, everybody, I just went through my stash trying to keep a feed sack look theme going on in my head. And this is what I came up with fabric that I already had. It's all good. So I didn't use as much as this as I thought I would, these tans, but you know what? They'll be pretty in another quilt. I've already got a head start on 1.5 inch strips cut for something else. Okay. There's that. I had just a few of these left. Not many. There we go. So as you can see what I've done here, I've just layered my leftover strips here, and then I'm going, once I have cut everything, then I'll put all my scraps down on the bottom of that. Excuse me. There we go. Alrighty, now then. All of that being said, I'm going to get a sip of my coffee. And we are going to get ready to cut the rest of these goodies out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 more block groups to cut. So that tells me I need 8 more of these green clips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. So I have all of those out. I'm ready, standing by. Oops. Come back here, you. Yeah, just a minute, everyone. I lost my window. Where's my window? Ugh. Good grief it. Let me get back to my window, everybody. There we go. That should bring it back up. There we go. Alrighty. So, next we're going to get started cutting on this, but I am going to take about a 10-minute break so I can take Puffin outside and stretch my back a little bit, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to have a little short intermission. I love the little good time to get up and stretch and all that fun stuff. Be right back. Okay, everybody, we're going to get started. It wasn't a very long walk for Puffin because it's raining again. And Puffin's a princess. He doesn't like to get wet. So he did do his business right off of the porch, so it's all good. Alrighty. Going to get us another sip of our coffee. Now that we've organized all of the strips, we're going to cut the rest of the remaining pieces for all 64 quilt blocks. Well, we finished 12 of them yesterday, so that would actually be, we're going to cut it today. We're cutting enough pieces for 52 log cabin quilt blocks. Whoo-wee. Okay. And we're going to do number 16 first. And we're just going to move right along and get it done. Let's see here. Okay. So, let me get this other little screen back up. Here we go. Okay. So, we're going to doing number 16. And we're going to cut round 1 for block group 16. Remember, each one of those groups has 4 blocks exactly alike. And that'll give us a good mix when we go to set them together. So 4 at 3.5. Once again, I altered the pattern in the book. So if you're actually following the instructions in the book, the numbers I'm repeating out loud do not apply to you. So I'm going to make that crystal clear. 4, another one. Oops. Remove it since I got it askew. So this is actually going to be 8 pieces at 4.5 for round 2 and 3 for round 1. There we go. And then 4 pieces at 5.5. Right? Right. Okay. And we'll get those stacked, moved up. Now we have 3 of these. This is for round 2 on block 16. There we go. 4 layers of fabric thick. 4 layers of fabric are stacked. That's the magic number for this pattern, is the number 4. So you want to cut it in group layers of 4. So 4 at 5.5. Then 8 at 6.5. There's 8 at 6.5. And then I will need 4 at 7.5. So I'll just fold that over in half. That gives me 4 layers. Okay. And one cut at 7.5. Just 7.5. And those are all cut. And then round number 3. Round number 3. There we go. And we need 4 at 7.5. We need 8 at 8.5. There's 4 of them. Get the next 4 on our other cut. So we need 8.5. There's 8 at 8.5, then one cut of 4 pieces, one cut of 9.5 inches. And that'll give us 4 pieces at 9.5. And then we have these for round number 4. I'm just wiggling those strips to get the edges to line up. That's all I was doing there. Remember, on round 4, our first set of 2 strips, we'll cut the longest and the shortest pieces. Because we just need 4 layers of each of those. So 1 at 9.5. And then our next cut at 11.5. Longest and shortest strips. And then we need to cut 8 at 10.5 for our middle size. And 10.5. And 10.5. And that gives us 8. There we go. So block 16's pieces are all cut for all 4 blocks. Yay. Okay. There we go. Now what I'm going to do with these, since this is number 16, I'm going to layer these at the bottom of my little tote here for me to work off of later. There we go. Okay. Next is block 15. Just going to keep doing them in order. Okay. 2 strips for round 1 of block 15. Get them straightened up a little bit better there on the end. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Half. 2 cuts at 4.5. And 1 cut at 5.5. And round 1 is cut for block 15. Here we go. Okay. And round 2. I need 1 cut of 5.5. I need 2 at 6.5. And then I need 4 pieces cut at 7.5. The ruler I'm using today is Quilter Select. It's a 6.5 inch square. Seven and a half. I almost miscut that, everybody. 7.5. 4 pieces at 7.5. There we go. Okay. And this is a Kai, K-A-I, rotary cutter. There's those. Round 3 for block 15. I just want to make, I'm going to keep repeating this, everybody, because I just want to make sure that everyone understands. These numbers I'm repeating are not in the book. I altered that pattern to fit my own needs, and that's what I'm repeating. Okay? So, if you cut your strips according to the book at 1¼ inches, the numbers I'm repeating for my cuts do not, I repeat, do not apply to you. They apply to you if you're going to cut them at 1½ inches in the width, which is what I did. And the only reason I did that was to make it easier for me to cut out the strips. Okay. So I need 4 at 7½. And I need 8 at 8½. I have 2 more cuts to make. 1 at 8½ and 1 at 9½ for round 3 with block 15 according to our diagrams. Eight and a half. Gives us 8 of those, and then 1 cut at 9½. There we go. There. And that gives us all of our pieces for round 3 of block 15. Now for round 4 of block 15, come on you, that's not supposed to be in there. Here we go. Round 4 of block 15. Shortest and longest cut, 9½, and 11½. And then I need 2 cuts. So to have 8 pieces, cut at 10½ inches for my 1½ inch strips. Two 10½ inch cuts, everyone. And there's those 8 pieces. And that's all the pieces cut for our 4 blocks of number 15. Yeehaw. We have 6 more groups to cut, and we'll have all of our pieces cut for this quilt top. Yeehaw. It's a good thing. Come on, you. Get on there. There we go. Right there. Now we will do block 14. Is next. Yeehaw. Let's see here. Yes, Tracy, I will show those again. Here are my yellow pad notes. I'm just going to lower that down. Let it rest there a moment so everybody can get a good look at that. Let's see here. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to flip it around. Yeah, once I get this brightness down so it looks right. Hold on. There we go. I'm going to leave that there for a few minutes so everyone can copy that if they want to. But these are based on 1.5 inch strips. Round 1, there are the measurements. 2 strips. All these strips are cut across the width of the fabric at 1.5 inches wide, the width. Round 2, 3 strips. Round 3, 4 strips. Round 4, 4 strips. So each block takes a total of 13 strips plus this, which is a 3.5 inch square of fabric. Okay. This measurement here is the same as what is in the book for the chimney. I'm going to leave those right there like that for a moment and give everybody a chance to copy that if they want to. I just found it easier to cut 1.5 inch strips than 1.25 inch strips. Now it will change the size of the quilt top. If you use the 1.25 inch strips, the quilt top will measure 72 by 72 inches. However, using this method, it will measure 88 by 88 inches. So keep that in mind. It is going to use a wee bit more fabric. I had I cut basically a half yard of 10 different fabrics, and I had some strips left over, but that's what I use for my foray into this. I think you could get by with 18 fabrics or maybe 19 fabrics of a half a yard. But what I did, I cut 12 strips, 12 1.5 inch strips of each one of these fabrics is what I did. Leave that on there for a little bit longer. And listen, everybody, if you want to, you can re-watch these videos. And if you do that, you can actually pause it and copy it that way as well. So these videos, even though they're live, they're still being recorded so they can be reviewed after the live broadcast is over with. Okay. So we're going to get back to our cutting. Hope that's everybody had a chance to take a look at that. If nothing else, get that up on your screen and take a picture of it with your mobile device. Okay, so we're going to get started back now. We're doing block number 14 next. And this is for round 1. And we're going to cut. We're going to cut 4 at 3.5. And we're going to cut 8 at 4.5. So it'd be 2 4.5-inch cuts. And then 1 at 5.5. As you saw on the live yesterday, because I actually pieced 16 blocks yesterday, these pieces fit together perfectly. And that's what we're after. That way the piecing process is nice and enjoyable. And there's no stress. And that's why I decided today this was going to be a cutting day, because I'm going to get all of my fabric cut for this entire quilt top. That was a miscut. Look at that. That's when I was cutting them out, all the strips out. That's okay. Set that to the side for the next one. It's all good. There we go. Now we're going to cut 1 at 5.5. And 1 at 5.5. Then we're going to cut 2 at 6.5. There's 4. 1 more cut at 6.5. That gives us 8, a total of 8. Then we need 4 pieces cut at 7.5. So it'd just be 1 cut at 7.5 inches. There we go. Then we're going to cut round 3. Just lovely coral fabric here. I can remember my aunts talking about feed sack fabric on the farm many decades ago, because flour and stuff like that and animal feed back in the day was actually came in fabric bags. And I can remember my aunt saying how they would have heated discussions over who would get which empty feed bags, for lack of a better word, feed sacks, to make their dresses out of. It was a big thing back in those days. Can you imagine? Isn't that cool? Really kind of cool, really, if you stop and think about it. The staples you normally purchased had a double use. You could actually then, so that was 1 cut at 7.5. And then we're going to do 2 cuts at 8.5. But feed sacks, that's what they normally people called those back then. They were actually used, once the sacks were empty, people would use those to make garments or all kinds of quilts, all kinds of things out of. I always thought that was a cool story. Okay, one at 8.5 and one at 9.5. Let's see here. One at 8.5. Gives me 8 there. Then one at 9.5. And there's all for round number 3 on block 14 cut. There we go. Next is round number 4. Round number 4 on this adventure. Round number 4 for block 14. And we're going to cut our 4 pieces, our 4 of the shortest and the longest for round 4. And we're going to cut the first one at 9.5. And then the second one, the longest, at 11.5. And now we just have to cut 8 at 10.5 for our 8 middle pieces. Here we go. Well, you're very welcome, Tracy. Okay. Okay. So 10.5. And 10.5 again will give us 8 at 10.5 inches for our middle size logs for round number 4. And that's all the pieces. That's all the pieces for the 4 blocks of block number 14. Woohoo! And I am being very careful to make sure these do not come unstacked, because it makes sewing them together so much easier if you can maintain these nice, neat stacks. All the pieces from 4 blocks, number 14. And you can see here in my tote how I'm just layering those in my tote, so that when I go to the sewing machine, I'll start with the group for block number 5. I've already got blocks 1 through 4 pieced, but once this is all full, then I can just reach off the top and pull them off in order. I mean, you can piece them in any order you wanted to, but that's just me. I like to do things in order. Next is block number 13. Here's our fabric for that, right here. And we're going to start with round 1 for block 13. Round 1 for block 13. And our first cut will be 3.5 inches if you are using 1.5 inch strips. If you're using 1 1/4 inch strips, you need to refer to the book for the cutting sizes. Okay, 1 cut at 3.5. Then I want 2 at 4.5. 4.5 once. 4.5 twice. And then 1 cut at 5.5. Right there. And there's the pieces for round 1 of block 13. This is for round 2 of block 13. Hold on a second there. I only see 2 pieces. I need 3 for this. So, let me pull out some of my excess fabric up here. Go back into my bin. Need 1 more strip of this. There we go. Okay, there's 3 strips. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now we can get started on that one. Round 2 of block 13. We're going to get us 2 strips layered on top of each other, so we have 4 layers of fabric. Come here, you. Come here, you. There we go. My goodness. I swear, people, they just have no respect. Let's get rid of that person. Report. And then block. Yeah, there's always somebody who thinks that they're more important than everybody else and wants to do spam on a live broadcast. Isn't that special? I hope they feel so special about themselves, because they're not. Okay, so next we are going to, what are we cutting here? We're cutting round 2. So 4 at 5.5. Then 8 at 6.5. Which would mean 2 cuts at 6.5. Right there. And then that 3rd strip, we'll cut our pieces for the 7.5. We just need 4. One cut at 7.5. There we go. for round 3 for block 13. And we're going to square off our cut. This is round 3, so we need 1 cut at 7.5. Then 2 cuts at 8.5. When I say a cut, that means we're cutting 4 layers at a time. Next 2 strips for this round. Remember, round 3 gets 4 strips of fabric, as does round 4. Square it off. And we're going to cut 8.5 and then 9.5. 8.5. Gives us our 8 strips of the middle size, and 1 cut at 9.5. That gives us all our pieces for round 3 of block 15. There we go. Now, going to do round 4 for block 13. 2. We're going to make our two cuts, 1 for the shortest strips and 1 for the longest strips. So our first cut will be 9.5 and then 11.5. There's our longest and our shortest. See right there. Then for our middle pieces, we need 8 at 10.5 inches. 8 at 10.5, which means we'll make 2 10.5 inch cuts out of these next 2 strips of fabric that we cut for round 4, block 13. Square it up, and we're going to cut 10.5 twice. There we go. There's 4, and 4 more makes 8. And there's all our pieces cut for the 4 blocks for block 13. Okay. That now means we have 4 more groups of blocks to cut out, and all of the pieces will be cut for this quilt. Now that's exciting. Hi, Belinda. Okay. Here is for block number 12 is next that we're going to cut. You give me a sip of my coffee. Okay. And here's all our pieces for block number 14, 13, no, block number 12, blocko number 12. Okay. Block number 12. And we're going to square off the end. And we're going to do our first cut at 3.5. Then we want 2 cuts at 4.5. We need 8 pieces at 4.5 inches. And then 1 piece at 5.5, 1 cut at 5.5. Each cut equals 4 pieces of fabric. Here we go. There's round 1 cut. Oops. There we go. Here's round 1. Right there. And let's see, this will be round 2. This is really a pale pink with pink and coral micro dots in it. Okay. And we're going to cut for round 2 of block number 12. Block 2 of round number 12. 1 at 5.5. 2 at 6.5. So we have 8 at 6.5. Excuse me. Then we're going to do 1 cut at 7.5. Each cut equals 4 pieces of fabric. There we go. There's all the pieces for round 2 of block number 12. Right there. And next we'll do round 3 of block 12. Round 3 of block 12, everybody. Round 3 of block 12. Okay, so we need 1 cut at 7.5. Right. 1 cut at 7.5. 2 cuts at 8.5. 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 2 cu next 2 strips. So 1 at 8.5. That gives us 8 at 8.5. 1 cut at 9.5. And that gives us all of our strips for round 3 of block 12. Oops. There we go. Alright, here's the ones for round number 4 of block 12. Right here. Square the end off. Also cutting off the selvage. So round 4, we need to do our longest and shortest. So 9.5. And then 11.5. And then we need 4 pieces at 10.5 for our middle size. Two cuts at 10.5. Here's 1. And 2. 2 cuts at 10.5. Right there. And that's all of our pieces cut for block number 12 of our Lacey Log Cabin Quilt top we're making. Next is block number 11. We're going to cut all the pieces for 4 of those blocks. Okay. This one I'm going to use some scraps on. We're going to attempt to anyway. Let's see how that goes. Let's see here. We need, biggest is 8 at 4.5. Let's see, what is that? Well, there's a 5.5, and we'll need 4 of those. So there's 1 of those. We'll trim that one for 5.5. Right there. Okay. Then, yep, perfect. Need 2 more at 5.5. Actually, that could be 2 at 4.5. there. See what this will be. We'll make these 5.5. They're long. There. And there. That'll give me all 4 of my 5.5 inch cuts for round 1 of block 11. Okay, there's 2 of those. I need 6 more of those. There's 2 more. Now I just need 4. So all I have left to cut for round 1 out of, I just used up my scrap pieces. All I've got left to cut out of this one strip I had now is 1 cut of 4, 1 cut of 3.5, and 1 cut of 4.5, and there's ample here for that. So yay. It's always good when the math works out. So 3.5. And 1 cut of 4.5. There we go. There's all of those. Yay. Okay. Excuse me. And I was going to do the same thing with this for round 3. So I need, let me see, 8 at 6.5. Let's see what we've got here. And that's not going to do, so that can be 5.5. That is 5.5. I need 4 of those, so there's enough for 3. There, right? There's 2 there, 1 there, right? Nope, there's 1. Okay, that would be 3. And this would be 4. 4 at 5.5 right there. There's those. Okay. Now I still need, oh yeah, I'll have enough. Here's some more scraps here. So I need 4 at 7.5. How long are these? Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That'll give me those. There's 4 at 7.5. Now I need 8 at 6.5. So there's 1. 2. 3, 4, 5, 4 more of those and I'll have round 2 all cut. Got it. Yeehaw. Like it when the math works out, and that was all scraps, everybody. One cut at 6.5. There we go. And there's all of my pieces for round 2 of block 11. And I had one of these strips left over. Okay. Then round 3 is this color right here. So that being said, we're going to cut. First, we're going to get us 4 layers of fabric before we do any cutting. Okay. I'll check that, Tracy. Oh my gosh, these spammers, I swear. They keep creating fake accounts so they can repost their crap. Isn't that sad? But yes, Tracy, let me check that out on number 12 there. That was this last one down here. Yes, there is 8 right there of the 10.5s. Okay. So right here we're going to cut round 3. We're going to do 1 cut at 7.5. And 1 cut at 7.5. We're going to need 2 stacks, 2 cuts of 8.5. One more cut of 8.5. And then 1 cut of 9.5. Oh, no worries, Tracy, but thank you for pointing that out. It's better to catch it now than not at all, that's for sure. So that's round 3 for block number 11. Now we're going to cut round 4 for block 11. Let's see here. 1, 2, okay. And out of this cut, we are going to start off cutting the 4 longest and the 4 shortest strips, pieces, for round 4. So our first cut will be 9.5. And then we're going to cut at 11.5. Okay. And our next 2 strips for round 4, block 11. We are going to make 2 cuts at 10.5 inches. Two cuts at 10.5 inches. So 10.5 and 10.5. There we go. And that gives us all of our pieces cut for the 4 blocks of block 11. Get those all nice and neatly layered and clipped together. And that leaves us 2 more groups of blocks to cut out. Yeehaw. So excited. Then it'll just be a simple matter of chain piecing all of these pieces together. Okay. So next, we're going to do block number 10 is next. Block number 10 is next. There's the pieces for block 10. Here's round number 1. And we're going to do 1 cut at 3.5. Oops. There we go. 1 cut at 3.5. And 2 cuts at 4.5. And 1 cut at 5.5. Okay. And those are all the pieces cut for round 1 of block 10. Okay. Next will be round 2 for block 10. Okay, square up the ends. And we're going to do 1 cut of 5.5. 2 cuts at 6.5. See here. 6.5. There's 5.5, 4, 8 pieces at 6.5. And then we'll do one more cut to get 4 at 7.5. Let's see here. There we go. Come on, even up, you. There we go. 7.5. And there are those. So there's all the pieces cut for round 2 of block 10. Right there. Now we're going to do round 3. That's round 1, round 2, block 10. Here's number 3. Okay, so for round 3 of block 10, we are going to cut one cut of 7.5, and 2 cuts at 8.5. Here's the 7.5, one of the 8.5. Okay. And out of the next 2 strips, we'll cut an 8.5 and then a 9.5 for round 3 of block 10. Square up the ends. Now we're going to do 1 at 8.5, and then 1 cut at 9.5, and there's all our pieces for round 3 of block 10. Okay, now this is for round 4 of block 10. Round 4, block 10. So on our round 4s, we're going to cut the 9.5, the shortest and the longest. So 1 at 9.5 and 1 at 11.5. That's our longest strip. And a half, 11.5. Then we need to cut 8 pieces at 10.5, which you can get out of 2 strips of fabric. Right there. And we're going to cut those at 10.5 inches twice. 2 cuts at 10.5. there's 2. Okay. So there's all of our pieces cut for block 10. Of our Lacey Log Cabin Quilt. There, number 10. Right there, number 10. I'll go in our little bucket right over here. Just lay it in here. Let's see. Number 10 right there. Okay. That means we have 1 stack left to cut, everybody. Oh my goodness. Always a feeling of accomplishment when you get it down that far. So, block 9. This is going to be round 1 in block 9 right here. Round 1 of block 9. Here we go. So we're doing a 3.5 inch cut. Two at 4.5. And then 1 at 5.5. One cut at 5.5. Right there. There's round 1 of block 9. So this will be round 2 of block 9. Round 2 of block number 9. Okay, and we're going to make a 1 cut at 5.5. Two cuts at 6.5. Then we have 1 more strip, and we're going to get our 4 pieces cut at 7.5 inches out of this strip. Seven and a half. Right there. And there's all of our pieces cut for round 9. Oh, not round 9. Round 2 of block number 9. Next will be round 3. It's this lovely one here. Make 2 strips to start. Those fold lines matched up. Alrighty. So round 3, our first cut is 7.5 inches. Seven and a half inches right there. Our next 2 cuts are 8.5. Whenever I say cut, everybody, I'm talking 4 layers of fabric. So each cut gives you 4 pieces. So there's our first one at 8.5. And we got 2 more cuts to make out of our other 2 strips for round 3. There. Square them up. And we're going to do 8.5. And then a 9.5. And there's all of our pieces cut for round 3 of block number 9. And for round 4, this is gray. This has a little metallic, probably can't see it on camera. If I get it closer, maybe you can, but this got like little metallic wood grain in it. It's really pretty. Gold metallic on gray. We're going to get 2 layers, first 2 layers lined up here on the cutting mat. And what we're going to cut first for round 4 of block 9 is our 4 shortest pieces and our 4 longest pieces. So we're going to do 1 cut at 9.5, 1 cut at 9.5 right here. And then we're going to do another cut at 11.5. That's our longest, shortest piece for round 4. See, that's all the wastage I had on that, just that little sliver right there. And then our next 2 strips, we're going to cut 2 cuts at 10.5 inches. Okay. And that will give us 8 pieces cut at 10.5. That's our middle size. So 10.5. And 1 more cut at 10.5. And guess what, everybody? That is all of those pieces cut for this entire quilt top. I just have to organize them. I got 4 more stacks over here of 5, 6, 7, and 8 that you haven't seen, but they're not clipped. Oh yes, they are clipped too. My mistake. But I'll show those to you as I'm putting them into my tote here. Okay. This was number 9. Let's get that on there. Oops. There we go. Number 9. then here's what number 8 looks like. Just see those fabrics there. There's round 1 right there, round 2, round 3, round 4, block number 8. Here's block group number 7. Round 1, round 2, there's 3, there's 4, here's number 6. I gotta redo that clip because I didn't clip my paper on it. And I know me, if they're not clipped on there, I will lose them. Come on, you. Here we go. Number 6. Here's round 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. And last but not least, number 5. Here we go. Round 1, 2, 3, and round 4. Alrighty. There's all the piecing left to do. There are 12 bundles here. Is that right? Let me think here. Yes, 12 groups of 4 blocks each. So there's 48 blocks to go. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. 48 blocks to piece. Here are all of my centers for them. Each will have these organized in groups of 4. So each group of 4 goes to one of these stacks. And that's all there is to it. Yay! We got that accomplished today. That was the big goal for today, for this project, was to get all of the pieces cut. And we got that accomplished. Yeehaw! That's a good thing. Alrighty. Let me get back over here. We're going to change our camera. And right there. Okay. Okay, everyone. Well, that was exciting. I'm happy. I'm very pleased with getting all of that done today. Get my glasses, excuse me, back on. So, Tuesday at 6 p.m. will be the next episode in our Lacey Log Cabin. Oh, yes. Hi, Eugenia. Yes, that was a lot of cutting, that's for sure. So yesterday I cut all the pieces for 16 of those blocks. There's a total of 64 blocks. Quilts in Italy, page 62, Lacey Log Cabin. There are 64 blocks in total for this quilt top. Ooh-wee. I'm going to take some aspirin. My fingers are sore after all of that. But yeah, it's all good. Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, will be episode 3 of our Lacey Log Cabin. And we're going to do some serious chain piecing on Tuesday night for this quilt. Now, the next quilt, once this one is done, I'm getting the fabric ordered today, is on page 58. It's called Blue and White. It's this one right here. This will be a lot of fun. Yes, Eugenia, there is 4 blocks of each group. There are 16 groups. There's 16 different blocks, page 65, right here. Here are 16 blocks, and we piece 4 of each one, which makes a total of 64 blocks. Whoo doggies. But yeah, here's the ones from yesterday. I've already got 16 blocks finished. So block number 1, this is from group 1 right here. Okay. Then group 2 is this one. That was group 2. Here is group 3. Right here. Group 3. And last but not least, group 4. Now we just have groups 5 through 16 to piece. Whew, doggies. So that was fun. I do enjoy doing that. So everybody, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time will be episode 3 of the Lacey Log Cabin in Kaffe's Quilts in Italy book. Okay. I will see you all then. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And it's still raining here. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning and it was raining. I'll see you all next Tuesday night. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in.